The premise of this can be very off-putting if you just kind of take it at face value.
Yeah.
But then you watch the actual movie and it's very crass.
Yeah.
It's offensive in a whole other way, potentially. I think it kind of hits whatever the opposite of a sweet spot is. Welcome to Popcorn Moms, the podcast for parents who love their kids most, but loved movies first. We're your co-host Netta.
And Stephanie, two movie lovers turned moms. Join us as we reconnect with the things that make us whole outside of parenthood, namely watching movies. Today's movie is What's Your Number, a 2011 rom-com starring Anna Faris and Chris Evans. After reading that sleeping with 20 or more men kills a woman's chance of getting married, Allie, played by Anna Faris, looks back at the past 19 men she's had relationships with. She enlists the help of her slutty neighbor Colin, played by Chris Evans, to track down her exes so that she can re-meet them and see if any of them are actually the love of her life. But in the process, she and Colin fall in love as she learns that true love is about being yourself. So this was Netta's pick. So why did you choose this movie?
I really like this movie. I watched this movie. I don't know how long ago, like sometime in the last 5 to 10 years, I guess. I've watched it a few times.
Ooh.
And I just really like it. I think this is a really good rom-com. It checks the two boxes that I have for what makes a good rom-com, which is that it's entertaining and that the love thesis, like the idea about love that it has, is something that you're on board with. And like, I think it has a great love thesis and it's very entertaining. This is like top tier rom-com in my books. It has a very poor Rotten Tomatoes score. I don't care. I don't care. I just think it's a really good movie. I think it's like a very classical style of rom-com, which I wanted as a kind of like follow-up for Sleepless in Seattle. This is like your kind of very classical style rom-com, but done in its own way, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Yes.
So I feel like this is the rom-com a rom-com for millennials in a way. I just think the sense of humor and everything. But anyways, what did you think?
I enjoyed it very much.
Okay, great.
You can breathe.
It's okay if you didn't. I mean, it's okay if you didn't. But
I think, like, for me, like, I as we've talked about, I do not care for rom-coms in general as like a genre, but there's certain things, if like those boxes are checked, I'm like here for it to give it a shot. And I think this had some of those boxes, so we'll discuss those. I would like to argue, though, that this movie is a comedy first with romantic second. Like, this movie was absolutely hysterical.
Yes, thank you. It's so funny.
Like, absolutely hysterical. Way more than any, like, it's funny what you say, this is a classic rom-com. I think it follows the classic formula, but in no way is like, are the characters or the dialogue necessarily classic in a way. And so I would say that this is a calm rom, and that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Because I
can see that.
Yeah, it was way too funny. And like
too funny for a rom-com.
Way too funny. But like the humor itself, it was like extremely crass, which was great. The comedy style was much more like, if you want a gender comedy, like that male, like
Bro-y.
Yeah, very bro-y, very like the things they were saying, the jokes they're making. Like, you don't really see that comedy in classic rom-coms. I like what you said about how this is something for millennials, because I think it would resonate like with the female millennial crowd for sure. Like, I think Sean always teases me, like, I think women are much more crass than men actually. So like, that's what I really liked about this movie. Like, it kind of put that at the forefront, which I loved, but not typical. And I like that. It was, oh my God, I was dying. Sean stayed and watched it with me, eh?
Yeah.
Like,
did he enjoy it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we both like Anna Faris so much. She's so charming and she's so funny. And I think within the first like 2 or 3 minutes, we were both had some really good out loud laughs. So he's like, all right, I'll stick around.
Nice.
And it did not disappoint.
So to your point about the humor of it, This is what I think a certain type of humor that is by women for women looks like. I don't even know if who wrote it was a woman.
I
I don't
know.
care. I think this is very much like an Anna Faris comedy.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just like, yeah, why don't more comedies
I know,
for women have
right?
the word like why don't they say vagina more?
I
It's
know.
hilarious.
I know, but you know what's really, and maybe like my comment earlier, like I hate that I was thinking that this is like male comedy because like why does comedy have to be gendered? But it's interesting because I'm watching it and like thinking about this as a rom com. I was thinking that like majority, like a lot of women in my life would not like this style of humor necessarily in a rom com, but in a comedy,
Mm.
maybe in like a more like edgy comedy. And so, as someone who doesn't love rom coms, I love that they blended it. And that's why, well, that's why for me, it really, really, really resonated as a comedy. It was too funny. It was too funny.
To be a rom-com.
And I'm wondering the poor Rotten Tomato score. I was
Mm.
wondering this. I wonder if people maybe didn't know what to do with that.
Maybe. I mean, I have some thoughts about why it might not have found its audience,
Oh.
but I think in terms of like the type of humor that it has, plus, is it a comedy first? Is it a rom-com? Da, da, da.
Mhm.
Like, to me, this is such a classic rom-com setup of, this woman who finds out that she doesn't find out. This woman who reads a magazine article in, like, one of these, like, awful women's magazines that we all
Mhm.
kind of many of us kind of love, despite knowing that they're awful, that tells her that, like, she's gonna die alone because she slept with too many men, and that kind of is, like, the setup for her to go back and revisit her exes.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, of course, fall in love with this new guy who seems
Mhm.
like he's all wrong, but turns out
Oh,
is
of
right for
course he's
her.
all right.
I mean, this is just such a classic thing.
Mhm.
But the way it takes it up, I think there is a kind of like tongue in cheekness to it. Like she as the character, the main character, knows that this is kind of dumb to be
I
insecure
know.
about this.
Yeah.
The movie knows that it's kind of
Yeah.
dumb to be insecure about this, but she's still unapologetic about being insecure about it.
Yes. And like I can't put my finger on it. So let's talk about this because I think you're really onto something here. There's something about this movie that was kind of like making fun of the whole institution of like typical rom-coms in general because I feel like a lot of rom-coms like may start the same way like oh there's an article that says you die alone but like it takes it very seriously and the woman like
Yes.
internalizes it
Yes.
and like the humor is not as fun maybe whereas in this movie it's like immediately kind of making fun of itself in the sense that like she thinks that's really stupid like she's a very modern woman I want to say like modern confident empowered all this good stuff and for whatever reason this article kind of gets under her skin but like it's fun it knows what it's doing and it keeps her very like modern.
Okay, so I think that there's a couple things. One is that I think we see good reason why it gets under her skin. I
Yeah.
mean, clearly this is a woman who reads these articles all the time.
Mhm.
She has these magazines around. The reason it gets under her skin now is because her little sister is getting married and
Mhm.
she's just been dumped by this like environmentalist fuckboy asshole.
He's so good.
It's so good. Like, she's just been dumped, she doesn't have a date to the wedding, she's, like, worried about what her mom is gonna think and the
Yes.
judgment from her mom. She's just been fired, this is a very big one, and
Mhm.
so it makes sense that she's kind of at this low point, she's vulnerable,
Mhm.
and this idea of, like, she's been with 19 men, 20 by about,
Oh.
20 minutes into the movie, if that.
That was
Yeah,
so good.
that was really Uh, like it gives this great kind of structure or this great
Mhm.
like send off. Like, okay, go on your journey now.
Mhm.
Cuz she's looking for a change in
Yes.
her life. and you see why, you buy why, even if like the structure she gives to this change, right? This idea of like going back to all her exes
Oh my God, I love
because
it.
blah blah blah. Like even if that's kind of contrived and kind of whatever, like the article is not the thing that convinces her you
Mhm.
have to stop sleeping with more men and find a husband from among your like it doesn't convince her of that.
Mhm.
She wants a change,
Yeah.
and this gives her a kind of way to think about that change. So I think
Yes.
that's one element of it, is that like this movie is not saying actually you if you
Yeah.
sleep with 20 men,
Mhm.
you will
You
die
will be alone
alone.
forever.
Exactly. Like this movie has not internalized it, and that is like
Mhm.
not the moral of the
Yes,
story
maybe
in
that's
the
it, like
least.
yeah, you're right, like, it takes that idea I love, though, how much she, like you're right, though, it's not like she leans into it
Yes.
so much.
So hard.
But it's like, I feel like you're right, like, I feel like it's, like, a very modern thing, like, I feel like I could see, like, that's like, if I spiraled down this as well, like, that's how I would act.
Yeah.
"Oh, my friends, if they spiraled and this is how it" like, we'd really take
Yeah.
it seriously, and I love that, it just leans in, like, I think like, it comes up with this premise, and it leans into the premise so much in a very fun way to still be very, like, powerful and strong and interesting, and she still maintains, like, herself,
Yeah.
like, in trying to navigate, like, how she's gonna do this, which is
Yeah.
very fun.
Yeah. What else is there to say other than that it is insanely funny?
She slept with her step cousin. Anyway, when she's making when she's making the list at the beginning, oh my god. It's so like, I just feel like I don't even know who wrote it, but the writing was just so good. Even when
Mhm.
she's, like, talking about something and Chris Evans like, "Ugh, like, this is a crazy I cannot be a part of."
Yeah.
It just sounds
Yeah.
so real and like, oh.
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
Mhm.
I've been rewatching 30 Rock.
Hmm.
Just this thing of like
Yes.
just constant
Yeah, like,
constant jokes in
yes.
this sort of just in the conversation.
Flow yeah, there's, like, a flow style to it that's, like, you're not waiting for that, like, punchline, it's just in the way that the characters are and the way they talk that is just so, so, so
Yes.
funny.
Yes. It's like they have their zingers. Like there's some
Yeah.
jokes that, have like a setup and a blah blah, and the punchline. And then there's others where it's just like a zinger, but it just kind of like you're saying a constant flow
Yeah.
of
It's like
comedy.
one of those like, I feel like you watch it and you think it's super funny, and then you watch it again and you realize you missed a bunch of stuff and it's super funny, and then you watch it again and things take on a certain meaning. Like, it's just one of like, that's how I've never watched a quote unquote rom-com that's so funny. And
Yeah.
that's what I feel like this isn't a rom-com.
Oh, I don't okay, maybe I wonder if it's something where like if you were to watch this again in like, a couple years,
Mhm.
if the rom part of it might be more in the front, like might be more
Why?
prevalent. I don't know, just because like you're saying like like every time you watch it, you might get a little
Like,
something a
yeah.
little different out of it. And I wonder if
Mhm.
the romance part of it, because I do feel like that part is really strong.
Oh, I have a massive list as well of,
Oh,
like, all of the, like, prototypical rom-com things. I think
ooh.
yeah, I think, like, I made a list of atypical things and typical things, and I think, yeah, it does veer, like, that formula is definitely there. I was just thinking about, romantic movies and, like, what they, like, exist in, and so
Mm,
you have, like, romantic movies existing in, like, a period piece, for example, or a romantic movie existing within a lighthearted suburban scape
mm,
or a Hallmark world. It's like, where do they, and this one for me very much exists in like comedy. Like, the romance exists within that like bottle. Most rom-coms are like lighthearted. And so it's romantic and comedic because it's lighthearted. Whereas this one was like comedic because it was absolutely fucking hilarious.
yeah. I love the way you put that. That like the world
Hmm.
that the romance exists in.
Yeah.
I love that.
Boom.
Yeah. Love it.
So then let's talk about the
Yes,
romance.
let's talk about the romance. There's 2 things I wanna say just at
Okay.
the outset. 1, um, I just think this is, like, a great story. like a great idea of romance and love, which is be yourself and find somebody
Yeah.
who loves you for who you are and that you love them for who they are.
Yeah.
Great. Perfect. Number 2, I appreciate so much that they did not have a traditional public declaration of love.
What are you
I
talking about? They totally did.
mm-mm, they do it in
Okay.
private. She pulls him off the stage and they do it in private. No, 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 no.
Technically
No, 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 no.
no, 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 no.
No, no,
Okay,
no.
yes,
So,
I will
hold
not
on. Let me
d d
no, 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 no. Let me describe.
yes, 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 please.
So, she's at her sister's wedding.
Yes.
She gives a speech at the wedding that
Yes.
her love interest is not at. That basically kind of describes that love thesis that says, who you're with should make you more of who you are,
Mhm.
not hide it, and that's a beautiful thing, and blah blah blah, and that yes, you should be with somebody that you can be yourself with. Great. And then she runs off to find him. He is not there.
Mhm.
She runs off to find him. I love that whole sequence where she goes to, like, all the different weddings in the
Yeah, that
city,
was really funny.
and you kind of get, like, the celebration of different types of weddings, and
Mhm.
she finally finds him. He's performing at a wedding. She goes on the stage to get his attention, brings a kind of an end to the performance by, saying, "Okay, let's get the speeches going," pulls him off stage, and then tells him in private that she loves him and gives her a little speech. This avoids the awkwardness that I absolutely hate about the public
Okay.
declarations of love.
Okay, and I feel like I sorry, I apologize. Yes, there is no, like, I'm gonna stand on the stage with a mic and tell you I love you, but there is the sacrifice, the
Mhm.
grand gesture
Yeah.
of, like, leaving her sister's wedding
Yes.
and running all over town. Like, this is
Dumping
a
the other
big
guy who's
yeah,
perfect.
dumping the other guy
For
on the
sure.
spot who's, like, totally Mr. Right on paper and running all over the city, climbing the fence,
Mhm.
interrupting the performance. Like, what like, this is the grand sacrifice, and, like, no, it wasn't a public in terms of, but she did, like, make a spectacle of
She
herself
made a
in
bit
a
of a
slight way.
spectacle.
But what I love so much about it and why I can tolerate this in this movie is because it makes fun of itself, and as she's journeying, she says, "Why didn't I just go to his apartment and wait for him?"
Yeah.
Like, she says this to
Yeah.
herself, and so she realizes what she's doing is insane, and, like,
Yeah.
that's why I can tolerate it,
Yeah.
and I think it's rather amusing.
Yeah. I have no problem with all of those other,
Okay,
like,
because I know
tropes.
that the sacrifice sometimes bothers.
Yeah, sometimes, but I can accept that, that's fine. I think and again, I love the whole sequence of her going to all these different weddings looking
Oh,
for
so
him.
good.
I love that. Um, so yeah, that was all fine with me, no problem there. I loved it. That is a reason that this movie has stayed with me as a favorite movie. I think that it really is because the public declaration of love was done in private. I don't know, that just
Interesting.
yeah, I just find that I just hate that trope so much,
Yeah,
so
that's
I
fair.
just really like that that happened, but anyways, we
So, let's go
can
back to the love thesis the love thesis,
ooh, yeah.
because that is a phrase that you introduced to me, and I sometimes have a hard time, but this time I was like, I love that it's so obvious, like, that is the message, and I feel like in a lot of rom-coms, that is the message that is being strived for, and I feel like this one actually shows it, like,
Mm,
so obviously, like, because of the way in which they meet, not as love interests, but rather as, like, neighbors and then friends who are gonna help each other out. It's like they're bearing all their dirty laundry, like, at the front end. And
yeah,
so, like, they are really, really being themselves and, like, are very comfortable in being those people because they're not really interested in, like, impressing each other anyway, you know what I mean? And, like, I think it's just, like, with every other guy, she is very much pretending to be someone else, and then
literally, yeah.
and yeah, like, so literally. And so it's like, it's so in your face, it's so literal, but it's so real in a way that, like, is really, really nice. To segue into a sweet moment.
Mhm.
Marriage is hard, as we've talked about. Things are hard. Raising young children is hard. Watching this movie hit me in a way that, like, I don't know, no other rom-com, no other romance movie has done in years. I was sitting there with Sean, like, and after that, I was just looking at him like, God damn, like, this guy's my best friend, man. Like,
Mhm.
there is a reason I married him. I am here with him. Like, I am myself, I am better. Like, all of these things. Meanwhile, yesterday I was like, "He's gonna die." Like, if he does this stupid thing one more time. But, like, it's just it made me actually feel something, and, like, it resonated with me, like, in a way that a lot of movies don't. Like, mostly when I leave rom-coms, I'm like, "Oh, that was so sweet," and then I move on with my life. But this one, like, it has stuck with me in, like, a very deep way, and I feel like that's a credit to the realness of this thesis. Like, not only, like, "Oh, be yourself," but, like, they were themselves. At the end, when
Yeah.
she does her, like, private declaration and said, like, "Oh, you're number 21." And he's like, "You're number 300." And she's like,
Stop.
"Oh," like, it was like they're still being themselves, and they're
Yeah.
still very much okay with that, and they both know what they're signing up for,
Yeah.
which I love.
Totally. I'm with you all the way there. I mean, I feel like this idea of or this insecurity of like, does this person, love me for me?
Mhm.
Or do they love me for the role I play in their lives? Or do they
Yeah.
love me for how much of themselves they see in me? I feel
Mhm.
like this is something that's like definitely present in like movies, TV shows, blah, blah, blah. I feel like very often it's done in a way that's like kind of convenient. Like we don't really
Mm.
see that
Mhm.
necessarily, or it's very subtle.
Mhm.
In this case, in this movie, this being a comedy and a lot of things being kind of exaggerated for laughs
Yes.
and just really kind of, like you said, like leaning into it, it just very plain what
Yeah.
that means,
Yeah.
right? It's like you see her, returning from, accidentally on purpose bumping into these exes. And she's like going up this spiral
Oh my god, I love it.
staircase in her apartment building kind of he's on the landing upstairs and she's telling him what's happening and she's going up basically in these various costumes
Yes.
she's put on this
These
like
roles that
yeah
she has undertaken.
like this Miami beach
Oh my
bimbo
god, that
outfit
was
that
so good.
amazing. When she when she comes back after pretending to be British and she's got like the Union Jack shirt
The
on,
Mhm.
all of that, and it's like it's just a very stark contrast, and I love that they did really kind of lean into this idea and really made it the center point, right? They didn't
Mhm.
just kind of tack it on, it just like, this
Mhm.
is what the movie is about.
Yes, and, like,
Yeah.
not only that, but, like, he is aware that she's doing all of this, he is a part of it, he thinks it's great and it's funny and, like, because that's who she is, she's somebody who would do all of this insanity, and he's there for it,
Yeah.
like, loving it, right? I feel
Yeah.
like in a lot of these, like, "Just be yourself," like, the love interest never actually knows the depths that the
Mm,
person has gone to or this and the other, but, like, this one, they're kind of, co-conspirators in her,
yes. Yeah.
like, wild
They're a
journey.
team.
Yeah, and he's just as wild with his, like, board of rope pictures and, like, trying to track down all these guys. Like, what? Like, I did ask myself, like, why is he like, there's so
Insane.
many, like, unrealistic things about
Who cares? It's a rom-com, it's
him.
fine.
Yeah, rom-coms don't exist in the real world, as
No,
you say.
no.
You've said before.
Um, yeah, yeah. No, it's true, and I think, like actually, maybe going back to what we were saying before, like, why does the whole setup of this work? Given that, like,
Mhm.
the whole premise of this is potentially awful, like,
Yeah.
why does it work? And I think, like, similar, like, why does their connection work? Why does each of them work as a character? Is like,
Mhm.
I think it's like she feels this insecurity, but she doesn't feel insecure about being insecure. Like
Yeah.
she feels like, she feels bad, but she doesn't feel bad about feeling bad, right? And I
Yeah.
think, like, taking that off where she can just kind of embrace this insecurity and really go for it,
Mhm.
and for that reason, he can also like, it leaves room in the movie for him to also lean into it with her, where he
Mhm.
can embrace this as a thing about her to appreciate
Mhm.
because she's embracing it about herself.
Mhm.
This kind of crazy.
Yes, I was gonna say, I agree with you, and what this makes me think of is, like, I feel like a lot of times in rom-coms, one of the characters, like, prototypically the female, and we saw this a bit in Sleepless in Seattle, it's like, is, like, quirky, unique, fun.
Clumsy. She's clumsy.
Oh, fuck.
That's like
I tell you, Netta, I'm so clumsy, and I swear to God, it's caused so much problems. It is
yeah.
not cute. It's
Yeah.
not cute
Yeah.
in, like, a marriage when you're trying to live your lives. Ooh, and so, like it's like one of those things that's like, "Oh, that's so fun at first," but, like, in reality, like, I don't know. I feel like movies go over the top sometimes, like, that's how they make women stand out, like, giving them some sort of, like, wacky but I feel like this movie, she's, like, interesting and different, but, like, you believe it so much, and she's not set up to be different than him in that way. He's also, like, doing a lot of the things that she's doing. They don't put her on some sort of pedestal as, like, she's different because she's quirky. Like, she does a lot of quirky things, like, she makes weird what are those
Yeah,
dioramas?
the
Like
the kind of clay scenes.
yeah, but
Yeah.
for some reason, like, I took that so seriously.
Oh,
I don't know,
yeah.
like, how I don't know how they did this.
Like, it kind of takes her seriously as a full character,
Yes,
maybe.
she's very I kept wanting to say the word real. Like, I
Mhm.
see myself in her. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like every woman in the like you've said, like, millennial woman could, right? Like,
Mm.
she's just so like, full and, like, well-rounded as a character.
Yeah. And there's that kind of internal it's not like, okay, here is generic rom-com lead lady
Mhm.
that includes some clumsiness
Yes.
to make her seem more relatable or add some
Mhm.
comedy or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels here is a like fun-loving, kind of like ridiculous woman who is also very caring, who wants to
Mhm.
please other people, who has a
Mhm.
lot of love in her heart,
Yeah.
who is pretty irresponsible in some ways, but also pretty
Mhm.
practical in other ways.
Mhm.
Um, Actually, I don't know. I think she's actually a pretty responsible person on the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was gonna say she's real. It's like some people, like most people, like you're responsible in some ways, and other ways you're a little more free or loose or
Yeah.
spontaneous.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. No, for
she's
sure.
balanced. She's well balanced.
And I think something else that plays into this, um, is that there are a lot of characters in this movie, right?
Yeah,
It's a pretty extended
I
universe, right? All of
love
her
that.
exes
Mhm.
and her family mostly.
Mhm.
So you get a lot of different female characters and a lot
Mhm.
of different male characters. One thing that can be a weak point of movies, really of any genre, is that very often you get like one female character and like
Mhm.
maybe her friend. But even in rom-coms, I feel like you get your two leads and then a kind of sprinkling of people around them.
Mhm.
Here you get so many different kinds of people, so many different
Yeah.
personalities, so many different approaches um to relationships, so many different
Mhm.
approaches to marriage, different approaches to work, different approach like just all of these things. And I think that first of all puts her in uh you kind of see her relative to other well-rounded
Mhm.
characters
Yeah, it's very true.
or more complete characters. Um And it also just makes the whole world feel more real. So
Mhm.
she does too.
Yeah, like all the characters seem quite thought out and how they exist and like the like flashbacks I think as well
Yes,
add
they're
like
so
a
funny.
oh my god, they're
Yeah.
so good. They like add an element of realness cuz they're placing her at different points in her life with different
Yeah.
people and the different
Yes.
phases like
Yeah.
she's gone through
Yeah.
which I think adds to it. Yeah. Yeah. So she's very real as a character, I
Yes.
guess.
Totally. And
Mhm.
then, her the kind of journey that she goes on and the love
Mhm.
that she finds just feels all that much more meaningful.
Yes, I guess so. I feel yes, I feel like the rom-com-y classic things are where it I think some of those things, they were there, but they weren't done super great, some of them.
Mm.
Like, the point of tension, I thought was, like, a little weak.
Say more. Say more.
You have the typical kind of, like, she does something a little offbeat with her sculptures, and he's, like, the only one who believes in her.
Mhm.
And then they have, like, this basketball scene where she's really good at basketball.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like,
she's not like the other girls.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
She's good at basketball, so watch out. And then, like, they have the kiss, but then he just stays, and it's super sweet. And then I knew the tension was coming, and you know how I feel about that. I started to feel, like, sick to my
Yeah.
stomach. I was like, "Ah!" Or is this movie gonna sidestep it? And it went with the tension moment, but I found it to be very, very weak. Like, she finds out that he had the number of the guy that she had been wanting to circle back with the most, right? And she feels very betrayed that he held this number back.
And also, yeah, she had been spending the scene before is she's
Yes.
spending time with, like, the bridesmaid, like, her sister who's getting married and the bridesmaids, and they're telling
Yes.
her, this guy, like,
Isn't for you.
yeah, so she and Chris Evans have, like, kinda hooked up.
Mhm.
She's super happy, and they're all like, "No, this guy's you're not gonna end up with this guy. This guy's garbage."
Mhm.
And so she's kinda coming back, and then on top of that, she finds out that he has withheld, the phone number of the ex that she really wanted
Yes.
to meet up with.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I found it to be a little weak. Like, it just seemed very like, it made me question the idea that, like, these 2 people would, like, actually stay together, like, post-movie. Just, like, this seems like such a fundamentally weak thing to, like, shatter what they had premised this whole relationship on that they had built. Like, when
Mhm.
they finally do get together, they have this wonderful night together where they're having fun and roaming the city, and then they finally do get together, and it is absolutely wonderful, and, like, you are really there for it. Like, you really buy it. And then she goes and she's with the bridesmaids, and they're critical, and, like, that's fine, but so far, we've seen her be, like, not I don't know, she, like, leans into things and has fun with things around like, "Oh, no, my 20 guys," and whatever, but, like, I don't know, there was something that bugged me. I didn't personally believe that they would get under her skin that much.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, yes, she comes back, he has the number. Just for the night that they spent together, the foundation they'd built, I felt like that was kinda weak. Like, he didn't give the number because he was falling for her. Like, and she was falling for him. Like, I don't know. I didn't buy it. I thought it was weak. And then when they were fighting and stuff, and she kind of calls him out, like, "Oh, if I'd slept with you, you would have been gone because that's your MO." Like, I believe that. Like, because they built him as that character. And then I was going to say the other thing, we talked about the grand gesture and the sacrifice, but the other thing that was very prototypical or typical is when she does the speech at the sister's wedding, and she is talking about, like, real love and true love, and it's people that make you feel better and where you can be yourself, like, and then she gets down. Like, that's, of course, when the guy that she thought was going to be her guy turns into an asshole. Like, "Oh, you don't wanna do your stupid sculptures anyway. Those are silly, and come with me and do this." Like, up until then, he was a very nice guy, but they gotta make him gross. They gotta make him yuck so you can buy into the fact that she's going to find her true guy.
Let me start by responding to the thing about the last thing you said
Mm,
about, um, the guy who seems perfect that she dumps
yes.
in order to be with Chris Evans.
Yeah.
I think you do see in the kind of montage leading up to the wedding of them dating, I
Mhm.
think you do see her fulfilling a role that is not authentic to her as we have come to know her. Like,
Yes.
this
Yeah,
is
like,
now
she's
near the end
playing
of
it.
the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
We know her. We see, like, we know who she is. We know this isn't her. But it's clearly a role that she can do. And there's, like, even that little scene where they're at, like, some kind of gala event, and she takes a little, like, hamburger, like a
Oh, yes,
mini burger
and
appy.
takes a bite.
Yeah, and then he doesn't take it, and she kinda puts hers down.
Mhm,
And I
mhm.
think you see these kinda little things here and there. So to me, when he kind of goes around and says, "There's nothing really keeping you in Boston other than me,
Yeah,
and, your freaky little sculptures
yeah.
art thing that you make, those can wait." I don't know, to me, it did make sense in terms of
Mm,
his character and their relationship as you see it. I also
mhm,
think that, like, it makes sense that that would come up at a point where, like, he's proposing that they go travel for his charitable work for 6 months
mhm,
together.
mhm.
It makes sense that, like, cracks start to show at a point of, like, a
I
big
guess.
change,
I
potentially.
guess.
I have no problem with that. In terms of what you're saying, in terms of, like, why the, Anna Faris and Chris Evans kind of, like, break
Their
off
moment of
their
tension.
moment of tension, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
It is
it's
weak.
weak.
It is weak. I think
Like, sorry, you go.
yeah, I don't know. I think maybe if, like, I almost feel like if the mom had been involved, because her mom
Ooh, was
is,
very
like,
deadly.
yes, and is, like,
Mhm,
this big source of insecurity and
mhm,
tension and kind of this
mhm.
thing of, like, she tries her best to maintain her sense of self, even with her mom's, criticisms and
Mhm.
nitpicking and all this kind of stuff. But maybe, but I feel like, yeah, there had to be maybe something a bit more as to why it is that she would listen to this group of bridesmaids
Yeah.
and let that get under her skin so
Yeah.
much,
Yes. Sorry, I was
right?
gonna say a group of bridesmaids too who at the beginning of the movie, we see her kind of comparing and contrasting their sexual histories, and she's already kind of set herself apart from them. So, like, why all of a sudden does she care
Yeah,
so much about their viewpoints when
right.
she seems to be quite an independent thinker?
Or yeah, and you know what? It's that the fact that, like, throughout this whole experience of, like, going back to these exes and, like, after each, like, experience with each of these exes, she goes back and talks about that with Chris Evans, not
Mhm.
with these bridesmaids.
I know.
So it would make more sense if she was getting feedback from these bridesmaids
Yes.
all along the way,
Mhm.
and she was kind of trusting them
Yeah.
and if they were involved in this process somehow, so that when they say this about Chris Evans, it means more to her.
More
She's kind of feeling
I
yeah,
know, like, you said it and I completely forgot about it because it's like, why would her sister's friends
yeah.
hold so much bearing when she's already established, like, they're kind of on different pages around things?
Mhm.
So I thought that was weird, and I was gonna say too, this idea of, like, the love proclamation, like, in other rom-coms, this idea of, like, "You held their number for me? Why'd you hold their number for me?" "Because I was falling for you." Like, in many movies, that is the thing that
Mhm.
brings people together, and in this one, like, it seems
Yeah.
a little more unrealistic, like, they both care for each other a lot, they've hooked up, they've established they like each other a ton, like, why wouldn't he hold back that it's
Mm.
it
No,
bugs me.
this
I know,
yeah, this though, like, I think if, like, oh, I held back the number because I think that would be a worse rom-com, to be honest. Like, I
but
think
that
the
is
fact that at the
that is what a lot of rom-coms
I
are.
know, but a lot of rom-coms are bad.
But they are bad, I'm not saying
So
this one should have done that. I'm saying, like, it's taken the
yeah.
thing that rom-coms use to bring
Yes.
people together and tried to make it as the thing that turned them apart,
Right.
and I don't buy it.
Right, yeah, I can see that. I mean, I
That's what
appreciate that, like, at the end when, she declares her love to him and he says, "I love you back," and he apologizes for withholding the number, which I really
Mhm.
appreciate because I think that was wrong. I don't think he should have done that, but that's okay. Um, it's forgivable. It's
It's,
forgivable. It's
like,
fine.
ridiculously forgivable. Like
Yeah.
like, I kind of feel like she should have saw that and been like, "Hey, when'd you get this?" And he could have said, "Oh, after we were starting to fall in love with each other." And she would have been like, "Okay."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess if there was maybe something about, like, how, this is the first time she's really herself with someone and it kind of freaks her out, and this is her kind of excuse to get an out, but that's not what it builds to. The whole movie is building up to them being really happy that they can be with people who
Right?
that they're themselves with.
I
So, yeah, no,
know.
I'm with you. I think the weak part of this movie for me, I think, is Chris Evans's character.
Ooh, say more because you know what? I agree with you.
Yeah. I really like Chris Evans, but I think just, like, the smugness and the arrogance of that
He's
character,
so smug.
so smug, and it never drops. I guess this is part
Mhm.
of this thing where, he really is his authentic like, he really is himself all the time, and I guess the smugness is part of that, but it's like, even when they're hooking up, he doesn't drop it, which really bothered me. It was just, like, kind of icky.
Really, to me, it was like, this is who he is.
Yeah, and I
This
didn't like
is
it.
and you're like, and I don't like him.
And it's fine in the sense that, like, okay, so this character likes him, and that's
Mhm.
okay. That's okay. But I remember especially, like, the first time I watched it, that was, like, the big detractor
Oh,
was his
interesting.
smugness and his character, but watching it now, I still don't love his character, but it didn't bother me as much.
And see, it's interesting because I feel like the fact that he is kind of like smug and kind of like broy and like this, like the whole time, like
Yeah.
I think for me, it added credence to this idea about being yourself. And like, I don't like him per se, but I can see how like they are a match
Mhm.
in the confines of this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think they would last though, by the way.
No way.
No, I have
Why?
I think a
Ooh.
lot of rom-coms, like, if you played them out, like, some you can see how the couple would stay together, and some you could see we're like, this is a couple I think that would crash and burn.
Mhm. Say more. Why?
Because I think because he's a smug bro, and, like, I don't know, like, I think for him, like, character development and, like, revelations, like, we don't see, and maybe it's just because he is not the focus, but, like, none of that is happening for him, right? We see her go on this really good arc of, like, realizing she just needs to be herself and, like, finding someone who loves her for her, great, and, like, he is, as you just said, like, one note, and that adds credence to the idea of, like, this is who he is, but, like, who he is, like, a womanizing maniac, and so
Yeah.
what is supposed to give the audience any sort of solace or trust or I can't think of the word, confidence that he will not get bored and move on as
Mm.
soon as she's not as fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's possible. I mean, the one thing you do see is, so throughout the movie, Chris Evans is encouraging Anna Faris to take her art more seriously and to
Mhm.
try and pursue it
Mhm.
professionally. He's a musician, a struggling musician. She encourages him to be more practical, to like, play at weddings and bar mitzvahs
Mhm.
and whatever else. And at the end, he's very resistant to it. He's like, no, I want to play my music. I'm not going to be one of these like, kind of lame
Sellouts.
sellout, wedding bands. But then at the end, he is playing at a wedding. Like he does take that advice. So there is, I think that's our one kind of hint that he is also growing as a person.
But is that good personal growth?
You tell me. You have thoughts, clearly.
I don't know. I feel like I'm bringing in my personal.
Say more. Same. Of course. That's how we watch movies.
I know, but it's so funny because, like, halfway through, or maybe a little more than halfway, Sean's like, "Is the point of this is it trying to tell women that it's good to be with unemployed musicians? I love this. This is a good love thesis. It'll all work out." I just think this idea of like artists, like musicians, artists, novelists, whatever, like this idea of like staying true to your art versus selling out is very divisive.
Mm,
And I think, as you said, he is encouraging her to pursue her like passion for art. And yes, it's different and interesting. While she is saying music is music, just go make money making music or playing music, not even making per se. I don't like, in a lot of movies, it's the reverse. It's a guy who is a cover band artist and secretly is writing his own songs, and the love interest says, "You should really write your own music. Like, why aren't you playing your own music?" So it's the other way. And so I don't know. He also has this insane skill set of detective skills.
yeah.
So, like, it's funny you say that because I didn't even really pick up. It's okay. No, this is how I took it. This is really interesting because I was going to say, I like how when they do have their tension and they split, he kind of spirals downward. And I saw him, quote unquote, selling out and playing weddings as part of his spiral downward. And that's so funny.
Oh my
You're like,
god.
look,
Yeah.
he's having a good character arc and taking her advice. I'm like, he's spiraling down the drain.
Is this is dark
This is
time?
no good. So funny.
Yeah, no, that's not how I took it at all. Oh my god. No, no, because I think they're just like they're finding a balance. Like, right,
I
she's
know. I
moving more
think you're
towards
right.
his, he's moving more towards hers. And Exhibit A, earlier,
Yes.
like the first the first ex that she goes and sees is the magician.
Oh my
The
God. I love
magician
that so
bartender.
much.
So good.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
magician bartender. But she doesn't actually talk to him. Like Chris Evans
Mhm.
finds him, they go to the bar. It
Mhm.
turns out he's still working at the bar. He's still doing the
Still doing the
same
same
magic
tricks.
tricks, all of that. She storms out. She's like, "No, I'm not even going to talk to this guy. It's not worth it." He's like, "Why?
Mhm.
You don't want to date a bartender?" And she's like, "No, I don't want to date a guy who's still a bartender,
Mhm.
right? Who's still doing the same old tricks, who's still in the same place he was before. I'm trying to grow and change. I'm trying
Yeah.
to move forward."
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's more the spirit that, like, I think that's more the spirit that it's in terms of Chris Evans, doing the wedding gig, but I could be wrong, but I think it's more that. I will also say I do think that, like, um I mean, he's not ma he's not making any money from his music is what's implied. So, how is he affording
I know.
a play like, it's clearly he has some, I think, growing up to do in terms of, like, adult responsibilities. I don't think it's a bad thing to do that. I don't think you want him to, like, abandon his art, but I think you do want him to grow up a bit,
I
is
know
my
he's
take.
definitely portrayed as a bit of like man child in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
women running across the hall, lying. He can't even like face them. And
Yeah.
he's like, I think, you know what it is for me? It's not necessarily that that is the direction it took. It's that we didn't get to learn more about like the idea that he is I was gonna say magician, musician. Like, I feel like what would have been a little stronger for me is if we got to learn, and maybe I'm not remembering, but like if we got to learn a little bit more about it, and he like just said he was a musician, but was doing absolutely nothing about it.
Right.
That would have been interesting because that
Right.
is like forward momentum. Or like this is not musician related, but he was like playing weddings, but he has this crazy skill set for like detective work and tracking people down, but he always thought he'd be laughed out of like a private investigator office, or he's so stupid, or he doesn't have the credentials.
Mm,
And so like maybe the direction is that he like goes to do that instead. I feel like we don't know enough about where he was to
mm.
see the idea that he's
Yes.
playing weddings as personal growth.
Yes. That's a great yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of wild that this movie is so strong, given that the male lead character is not that strong of a character.
What I love about
Yeah.
it. I was just gonna say, I really feel like this movie flips,
Yes.
not flips, but like the focus is so much on her
Yes.
as like a very
Mhm.
strong female character, and it really like takes you on her personal
Yeah.
journey. And I love that so much. Like, even, like, after they have their tension and they go their separate ways, we follow her only,
Mhm.
and she continues to date,
Yeah.
and she's not pining away, like, she's doing the thing, she's meeting the guy that she had hoped to meet, although, yes, she starts to realize it's, like, a bit of a facade, but she goes her way, and we only get these little snippets going back to him, and he is unhappy,
Mhm.
and I love that. It's like
It's not about
she
him.
she is the main character. Like, she's the main character of her life. She's the main character of this movie, and I think it like not flips, but like it
Yeah.
really puts her in the spotlight. And I love that because I think a lot of rom-coms like it's about both, and this one is about her. And I think that I did like that a lot. It's one of the things that I wrote down as being a little more atypical.
Mhm.
Like, she's so strong and it really follows her, and it's a story about her, and he's also involved, and it's a story about her realizing like what, true love is and stuff, and it's so focused on her, and and he is kind of weak. Like, as a character, he's kind of like, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
I feel like, yeah, they didn't get as much as they could have out of Chris Evans because I think Chris Evans is capable of doing much better
Like
than what
acting.
he acting, yeah. Like, I
Mhm.
don't think this is because he was limited.
I don't know when he became like Chris Evans famous after
Mhm.
this, right? Same with like Chris Pratt,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
who makes a delightful little cameo.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, yeah, Anthony Mackie.
Oh my god! Yeah.
So
Which one also
good.
was like, so is the moral here that Anna Faris has slept with the entire Marvel universe
All of the
is what's
Avengers.
going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, can we just talk about for a second I called it a parade of men
Yeah.
in my notes. I love that
Mhm.
so much.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what it's called when movies do things where it's like, we're going to assemble a team. Here is a list of people we need to visit.
Oh, I
And like,
love
let's
that.
go down this road of like all these different characters
Yeah.
and like revisit and all the different ways that we get to know each character. And then we're all assembling. I love that. What
Yes.
is that called? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either.
It's just
But
like it's I don't want to say it's
Episodic?
ensemble. Yeah, it's episodic maybe. It's not really ensemble because they're not on
It's like a
screen together.
checklist.
It's like a checklist style. Like my favorite, I love when it's in sports movies, and sports movies are assembling teams. Like, we needed this, we needed this. Oh, I got the guy for that. And then they
Like
go
a
watch
heist
him.
movie.
Yeah, yeah. Like, oh, they like a very Ocean's 11. Like, we needed
Mm,
this, we needed. I love movies like that.
yeah. I
And
mean,
this is
this is
one of those.
okay, but they're not together as a team, these different exes. But it
No,
has kind of that feel, I think, because each of the exes are so different,
yeah. It's
maybe?
this idea of like, it doesn't always have to end in a team, but it's like this idea of like, we are going to meet many different characters
Mhm.
and it's going to be very entertaining and take us on quite a journey and keep things very interesting. And each one's going to bring something different to the table. It's a
Yeah.
list thing,
Yeah.
I guess. And like, yeah, like, and then it's like, I feel like movies, when they do this, they can really lean into different stereotypes and archetypes and stuff like that. So it's like, there's the politician guy, and then
Yeah.
there's the artsy guy, and then there's the emo guy. Like, they get to really play with all of that. I think the fun of it was watching her like morph all the
Mhm.
time,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
And I do feel like it's interesting because I don't feel like her going, like us seeing her through all those stages. I don't feel like it's her like not knowing who she is. Like, I think that's a natural part of like that phase of life. You know, you're experimenting with different things, you're taking interest in
Mm.
different things. And then I feel like it's interesting because then she like is trying to relive a lot of those things, and it's so inauthentic for her
Mm. Oh, that's
because
so
I
good.
know, right?
Ooh.
Because like she had her time probably in her 20s trying all these different things out, having a good time, leaning into them, and they felt right for her at the time. I love how she comments that she was always the one getting dumped. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
they did feel right for her at the time. And then they feel very, and it's very obvious, very inauthentic now because she's done all of that. She's
She
been there.
knows.
She
Yeah.
knows who she is different now. And she has to learn, like I'm not those people anymore. Like, I love that.
To your point earlier about, this resonated emotionally for you. I
Yes,
think it's because it's like,
deeply.
even though this is pretty absurd, I think it feels grounded in
Yeah.
like a kind of like there's true things about life experience and relationships here,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it's so true, like, under it.
Yeah. And it just like,
Um,
yeah, it just kind of built around those things. Yeah.
yes, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
I was gonna say one thing, sorry, when we were talking about how it was funny and rom-coms, this is now jumping back.
Hmm.
I find one of the things that kind of, like, puts me off a lot of rom-coms is that they're a lot funnier in the front end
Mm,
as the premise and everything is being set up, and then it like romance kind of takes over. And I feel
mm,
like this movie definitely I could pinpoint like a specific like from this time to this time where the laughs definitely diminish. But in the end, they do a really good job of making it very humorous again and bringing it back.
hmm.
So I did appreciate that.
Bravo to this movie.
I know this movie with a terrible Rotten Tomatoes
Oh my
rating,
god.
and
Oh, yeah.
but it's so great. So many layers. I should have like no, I didn't Google anything about it, but I'd be curious what people didn't like.
I don't know. Okay, my theory
Yes.
is that I think the premise of this can be very off-putting if you just kind of take it at face value.
Yeah.
I think for people looking for a more progressive kind of take on the rom-com, or even just people looking for um something like that's not horribly offensive, like right? Like it has that potential to just be horribly offensive and like slut shaming and blah blah blah,
Oh
right? Like
my god.
right? Like if you are
Okay.
looking right? I
No, I
mean,
was gonna say what's so funny is I have a note
yeah.
that I was like, ask Netta, is this a bad look for women? Is this premise actually bad?
No, for all the reasons we talked about, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
No.
But I
But
think
face value,
at face value, I think it
it
is.
could
I
be
think
taken as such, yes.
for sure.
Mhm.
So I think there's that aspect of it. But then you watch the actual movie and it's very crass.
Yeah.
It's it's not it's offensive in a whole other way, potentially. I think it kind of hits this whatever the opposite of a sweet spot is. Like it kind of lands in this space where it kind of alienates both sides.
Yeah. This is okay, there's parts of it that are like, okay, at face value, what is this saying about women? What is this saying about men? But then the style of humor is also like not everyone's cup of tea. And how do those things come together to meet to find the audience that would be pleased with this?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I think if someone's going to sit down and watch a rom-com and you read the description, that's not really what you want. So you're not gonna pick it. And like, I don't think like no one knows how hilarious this is and how enjoyable it is. So if you're in the mood for a really good comedy, you probably wouldn't pick this.
Mm,
Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes I think about movies in that way, like what would take you to this movie? And I
yeah.
feel like there's a weirdness in how it was like marketed or how it's described that doesn't really direct you to who it's supposed to be for.
I think that the kind of satire element of it is a bit weird because, like, okay, I think the thing with satire is there is a kind of love-hate relationship, or there
Mm.
it's like you love the thing that you're making fun of,
Yes, like it's
right?
an appreciative type
Yeah, but you're
thing.
still taking it down.
Yeah, it's
And
like
I
a
think
roast.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. This is a roast of, like, women's magazines. Satire is a very hard thing to convey, and, like,
Mhm.
how do you because it's also a very sincere rom-com, I
Yeah,
think.
it's trying to be, yeah.
It's very sincere in the romantic part of it. It's
Mhm.
also, I think, very, again, kind of appreciative, but also a takedown of women's kind of pop culture stuff.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I don't know how you market this. I can see why it would be challenging. Um, but I think maybe something like Bridesmaids
Yeah, like
hit that a bit later by making it
yeah.
more about, like, this is a lady comedy.
Haha.
Yeah.
I hated so much that it was marketed that way, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you hate the movie?
I'd have to watch it again, to be honest, but
Okay.
when the first time I watched it, I was not super into it,
Mm,
like, at all.
yeah,
And there was just something about it that I was like, "Ugh." And I don't
interesting.
know, maybe it was, like, how I watched it or my mood at the time,
Yeah.
but it was marketed as, like, "This is a comedy for women," but it's like, this is comedy. Like,
Mm,
this is comedy for everyone. Like, this idea of, like, male comedy and female comedy, I think is, like, really weird
mhm,
'cause, like, women find crass things absolutely hysterical also, but it feels like we're not allowed to unless it's branded as, like, "This is a female comedy." It's
mm.
like, "What?"
This is
Mhm.
really just, like, a
Yeah,
comedy that takes place in the world
of
of women,
women, yeah.
but is not like yeah, but is for everyone. But I guess to bring it back,
Mm.
like, the challenge of marketing "What's Your
Yes.
Number?" is, like I think what I'm hearing is that had they marketed this like Bridesmaids, you would not have been super into that
Mm.
because marketing it as, like, women's comedy really
It's
kind of
weird.
really just misses the point that actually, like, what women find funny and what men find funny is very similar.
Yeah,
Not
like, I
like
think
this
and to
is
be honest
not
with you
like it's not like a meaningful distinction in a movie like this,
no.
and in
No.
most comedies.
'Cause I do think too, like, though the comedy was, like, raunchy or edgy or whatever you wanna call it, like, identifying with her as a female character. Like, although Sean found it very funny, we were identifying with the different things in a different way because he's not a woman.
Mhm.
Like, the Bang situation, he was like, "I don't get why that's."
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
"I am killing myself laughing right now because that
Yeah.
is so funny."
Oh god, just so many like you're saying, like, it was just impossible to keep up with all the funny things, like, all the jokes,
Mhm.
and
I
not
know.
all of them were, like, lines. Like, in the very first scene where she's sneaking out of bed to,
Oh
like,
my
put
god,
on
I
her
wrote that
makeup,
down.
and she brushes
Just
her
her
eyelashes
oh my
with a
god.
comb. My
Mhm.
god, that was
Like,
so
that
good.
physical comedy
Yes.
was very well done, and then she, like, slides in bed, and he's like, "Wow, you always look so good in the morning." She's like,
Yeah,
"Thanks."
that's the thing. He's the butt of that joke in the end.
Yeah.
He's the butt of that joke.
Mhm.
And, like, there's all this physical comedy without her being a klutz.
Yes. Yes. I love that.
Um, oh, the relationship between her and her sister, between Anna Faris and her sister,
Yes.
I really loved that.
Yes, like many things in this movie, quite well-rounded and real as well, like, the way they interact, the way they kind of throw each under the bus.
Yes.
to kind of like detract from each other's like failures
Yes.
or missteps in a
Yeah.
way.
I feel
Yes,
like
it seemed very sweet.
yeah, it's like they're both like they're very generous with each other and they
Yeah.
also use each other to a great extent. Like they have this kind of
Yes.
push and pull that feels very true
Mhm.
to sister relationships. And yeah, that it wasn't like antagonistic. Like I feel like so much of this could be like, oh, my younger sister's getting married before me
Yeah, and
and
like
I
that's a
kind of
huge
resent her
problem, and
and
yeah.
she's a jerk and blah 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 and
Mhm.
it's not that at all.
Yeah.
Um yeah.
No, I was gonna say too, a lot of times in these movies, as one relationship is coming together, another one is failing to like
Mhm.
demonstrate kind of the dichotomy of things. And so I kept waiting, not waiting, but like another version of this movie, like the sister's relationship falls to shit. And or like something
Oh.
comes out. Like, oh my God, at the toast at the engagement party?
Yeah.
When she slams the champagne bottle. Oh my God.
Yes.
When she's talking about how like, "Oh, and this guy, and then he dated her," I was waiting for her to say something like he'd been sleeping around or something and
Which you
ruin.
kind of get, right? That
Mhm.
he's like he broke it off in high school by sleeping by
But
hooking up with this other girl who's also
mhm.
there. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was just
wild that that doesn't become like
a
a
thing.
huge source of drama.
Yeah,
It's
and, like, I
great.
think, like, that's how a lot of rom-coms work, right? To
Mhm,
show, like, that some relationships work and some relationships don't, and this is why, and I kept waiting for it to be like, "And the sister's not being herself, and that's why her relationship is failing because she's being with an inauthentic man." But it didn't do that at all. It, like, really played up that the sister has found someone that she loves, they have a good, loving relationship.
mhm.
It is, like,
Yeah.
good. It is
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
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 so I like that, and yeah,
yeah,
they're very sweet.
yeah. Yeah, it doesn't take every opportunity for drama.
No, and I like that a
Yeah.
lot. Like, I was thinking, like, about the rom-coms in general and how, like, it's very typical a
Mm,
lot of the ways, and the things that kinda get me are things that, like, don't go the way you expect, and this movie, I think, has a couple points of which
yeah,
it doesn't go the way you expect, which I think is very fun.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Ugh,
okay.
cool, great,
Hmm.
great. So it's your pick next.
It is. What are you in the mood for?
Thanks for joining us here at Popcorn Moms. If you like what you heard, we'd really appreciate your support. Subscribe to the show, rate and review us, and most importantly, share it with someone you know. Thanks for listening.